Hello students, good morning and welcome to another lecture of physics. I am your tutor Meet, and in this lecture we are going to discuss about errors. If you remember, in last video lecture we have discussed about what is an error. We have discussed about precise value and accurate value, difference between precision and accuracy, and we have discussed about least count error. So what is an error? The difference between the measured value and the true value. The difference between the measured value of a physical quantity and its true value is known as error. Right? Say for example, the weight of a person is, let us say, 60 kg, and the weight machine which he uses gives him 60 kg 200 gram, let us say. So in that case, the true value is 60 kg only, and the instrument is showing 60 kg 200 gram. So that is 60.2. It means that there is an error in this measurement, and that error is of 200 gram. So error, the difference between the measured value and the true value of any physical quantity is known as error. So this is definition of error. Of course, you can also define errors as the uncertainty in the measurement of any physical quantity. The uncertainty in the measured value of any physical quantity is known as error. This is another definition of error. Okay, the difference between the true value and the measured value of any physical quantity is known as error. Now in last lecture, we have discussed about least count error. So what is least count? Least count is defined as the minimum measurement or the least measurement that an instrument can measure precisely, right, is known as least count. Say for example, the least count of scale is 0.1 centimeter, or you can say 1 mm, because that scale will measure up to 1 mm only. Any value below 1 mm will not be measured by using this scale. Right. On the other hand, the least count of vernier caliper is 0.01 centimeter. So different instruments have different least count. Suppose we want to measure length of any object, and let us say the true value of the length of that object is 5.7894 centimeter. Right. This is the true value. Now if I will use scale for measuring this length, then the scale will either show me 5.7, or you can say it is 5.8, right? Because the least count of scale is 0.1, that is after decimal point it will show only one value. So you can write 5.7, or it may be 5.8, but it will not give you this value. So there is a difference between these two measured value, this measured value and the true value. So this is error. And this is introduced due to the resolution of the instrument, the least count of the instrument, and hence it is known as least count error. Instead of this, if we will use vernier caliper which has a least count of 0.01, so maybe your answer will be 5.78, but these two digits will not be there, 5.78 centimeter. So still you can see that there is a difference between these two values, right? The measured value and the true value. So again an error is introduced. So this kind of error which arises due to the least count or the resolution of an instrument, it will be known as least count error. Right. Now today we are going to discuss about two important different types of errors. So you can say that error is basically classified into two groups. The first one is systematic error, and the another one is random error. Systematic error and random error. Now what do you mean by a systematic error? The error which tends to move only in one direction is known as systematic error. The error which tends to move only in one direction is known as systematic error. That is, the error, if it is moving in positive direction, then it will be moving in positive direction only. While the error is moving in the negative direction, then it will keep on moving along negative direction. Then such kind of error is known as systematic error. Now here positive, negative moving will create some confusion. So let us discuss this in detail. What is systematic error? So you can say that systematic error is the error which tend to move only in one direction. That is either positive or negative. The error which tends to move only in one direction, that is either positive direction or negative direction, then such kind of error is known as systematic error. Then such errors are known as systematic errors. Right. So here we have discussed what is systematic error. Definition of systematic error: the error which tend to move only in one direction, that is either positive or negative, then such kind of error is known as systematic error. Now we are going to discuss what do we mean by positive or negative and only one direction, right? Suppose we want to measure weight of any object, right? And that weight machine is already showing minus 100 gram. That is, it is not showing 0, but the weight is showing minus 100 gram. Then in that case, if you keep on measuring weight, then the weight measured by it will always be less than the original weight by 100 gram. Say for example, if you are measuring a weight of 1 kg, then it will give you only 900 gram. If you want to measure weight of any other object which has a weight of 5 kg, right, then it will measure 4 kg 900 gram only. So each and every time if you measure the weight using that machine, your weight will always be, the weight shown by that machine will always be less than the original value by 100 gram. So this kind of error is known as systematic error. This is for negative direction. Now what about positive direction? Same example you can consider, or let us take another example. Let us say we have a voltmeter. Let us consider a voltmeter. Now what is a voltmeter? Voltmeter is a device which is basically used to measure the voltage, or you can say that it is a device which is used to measure the potential difference. In standard tank you have come across voltmeter, right? In Ohm's law, that is the amount of current passing through any conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference applied across it under fixed physical condition and all that, right? So this is that voltmeter which will give you a value of potential difference or voltage. Here you will have a 0. Let us say here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and this is 10. So this voltmeter can measure from value 0 to 10 voltage. Ideally, the pointer should always point at O, that is a 0. Ideally, the pointer should always show 0 when it is not connected to any circuit. Now, instead of 0, let us say due to some error or due to some design issue, the pointer is showing 1. Instead of 0, the pointer of this voltmeter is showing 1. Now suppose if we measure a potential difference across a circuit which is actually 5 volt, then this device will give you 6 volt because it is already showing 1 volt extra. Right? So the voltage measured by this device will always be 1 volt more than the true value. So always it will give higher value, positive value. So this kind of error will be known as systematic error. So here, if an instrument is showing a reading which is greater than 0, then it will introduce a positive error in the measurement, while the instrument, if it is showing the value below 0, that is negative value, then that instrument will always introduce a negative error in the measurement. And this kind of error is known as systematic error. I think this is clear. What do you mean by systematic error? The error which tends to move only in one direction, that is either positive or negative, then such kind of error is known as systematic error. Now, the sources of systematic error are, or you can say that we can classify systematic error into 3 groups. So, the sources of systematic errors, or you can say that systematic error can be further classified into 3 groups. Number 1 is instrumental error. So, systematic error can be further classified into 3 groups. So, I have written here types of systematic error, but actually you can write systematic error can be further classified into 2 groups or 3 groups, or you can write the sources of systematic errors are, right? This is an appropriate statement, but right now I have written type of systematic error. Number 1 is instrumental error. First one is instrumental error. What do you mean by instrumental error? The error which arises due to an instrument. In simple language, instrumental error, the name itself indicates that error due to instruments, right? Some error due to instrument will be known as instrumental error. Now, what do you mean by some error or error due to instrument? Say for example, this kind of error will arise due to imperfect design of the instrument, or you can say that due to imperfect calibration of the measuring instrument. The instrument which is used for measuring something, while calibrating that instrument, we have created some mistake or some error, and that kind of error is known as instrumental error. Let us consider an example of thermometer. Now, when you are using this thermometer to measure the temperature of boiling water, then obviously it should show 100 degrees Celsius. But if the graduations are not properly calculated, now the graduation means the marking of the thermometer, you can say. Let us say this is thermometer, and the marking of the thermometer must be proper, right? So let us say while calibrating this thermometer, if you have not calibrated properly and if you have not put the graduations properly, let us say this should be 100 degrees Celsius, right? 100 degrees Celsius. But while calibrating, instead of 100 degrees Celsius, due to some kind of personal mistake, you might have written over here, you may have graduated this as 104. Then if you use this thermometer to measure the temperature of boiling water, then instead of 100 degrees Celsius, it will give you 104 degrees Celsius. So this kind of error is arise due to instrument, and hence it is known as instrumental error. You can say that this kind of error is due to the imperfect calibration of instrument, and hence it is known as instrumental error. Suppose, let us take another example. While calibrating a weight machine, let us say while calibrating a weight machine, you are writing weight on that, right? Suppose if you keep 1 kg and a pointer will slide and will stop somewhere. How to calibrate a weight machine? We have a spring over that, we are putting a wooden block or any kind of material, and a pointer was attached with it. A pointer is attached with it, right? Now let us say this is our weight machine, and here we have that reading scale, right? Here we have that scale. Now, when it is 0, the pointer should indicate 0 over here. So let us say you have calibrated this to 0 properly, right? But when it is showing 1 kg, right? When it is showing 1 kg, the pointer will come, let us say, over here. Then this should be 1 kg, right? But while calibrating, due to some mistake, instead of writing here, the point you have indicated somewhere over here as 1 kg. Then obviously you can see that actual 1 kg is here, and you have calibrated somewhere some other point on the scale. So that will introduce an error which is known as instrumental error. Now when 1 kg you will keep on this weight machine, right? Then it will point over here, which is actually less than 1 kg according to this machine. But it should be 1 kg only, right? But due to calibration, error in calibration, the instrument is giving us wrong value. So this kind of error will be known as instrumental error. The error arises due to improper design or the calibration of the measuring instrument is known as instrumental error. Now this instrumental error can be easily removed. How you can remove instrumental error? You have to repair that instrument, you have to recalibrate that instrument so that while performing an experiment such error will not arise. Or else what you can do, you can change the instrument, right? So instrumental error, to remove instrumental error is quite easy. What you have to do, you have to either calibrate the instrument properly, right? Recalibrate it, right? Or else you change the instrument. Or suppose in case of this weight machine, right, we are knowing that instead of 1 kg it is showing something more due to imperfect calibration, right? Or let us say I have a weight machine which is showing 100 gram less every time I measure weight on it. So suppose if I am measuring some weight and I am getting the answer as 5 kg, but I am getting 100 gram less every time. So it means that we can directly change our answer to 5 kg and 100 gram. Suppose again we will use and I am getting 7 kg answer. So the exact answer must be 7 kg 100 gram. You have to add that error in this, right? Error is minus 100 gram. So you will add plus 100 gram. Correction will be plus 100 gram. So what you have to do, whatever answer you get, you have to add the error in it. Suppose if error is 100 gram, then you will minus 100 gram. So if error is plus 100 gram, correction will be minus 100 gram. And if error is minus 100 gram, the correction will be plus 100 gram. Quite simple, right? So instrumental error we can easily remove. I think this is clear. The error which is arising due to imperfect design or calibration of the measuring instrument is known as instrumental error. Then you can give any one example. Let us take the example of thermometer only as it is given in our textbook. That is, suppose we want to measure the temperature of boiling water. Then the thermometer must show 100 degrees Celsius. But due to imperfect calibration, it is showing 104 degrees Celsius. So there is an error in this instrument which is known as instrumental error. Now this kind of instrumental error can be easily removed. You can easily remove this kind of instrumental error by calibrating the instrument again, by changing the instrument, or by knowing the value of error and appropriate correction to the answer, and by doing appropriate correction to the answer. Just now we have discussed, let us take the same example for thermometer. If you are measuring the temperature of boiling water and it is showing 104, but we know that it should be 100, so that instrument is indicating 4 degrees Celsius more. Now suppose if you measure temperature of some, let us say oil, then in that case suppose the temperature is 150 degrees Celsius, then it should be actually 146 degrees Celsius because it is showing 4 degree more, so the correction will be minus 4 degree. So if it is 150 degrees Celsius, then the actual answer is 150 minus 4, that is 146 degrees Celsius. So this is how we can remove instrumental error. Now the second one is imperfection in the experimental technique, or you can say procedure. Imperfection in the experimental technique. Now let us say we have an instrument which is properly calibrated, that is, there is no instrumental error in it, and we are performing an experiment. But due to the technique of the experiment, the technique which you should know for while performing that experiment, the technique which you should know while performing that experiment is not known to you, right? You are not having a proper technique to perform that experiment. You are not that experienced to perform that experiment. Then you will always introduce some kind of error. Let us consider an example. Suppose a doctor wants to measure the body temperature, right? Then what he will do? He will put the thermometer exactly below the tongue to measure the body temperature, right? Now instead of that, if the proper technique is not known and the thermometer is given to you to measure the body temperature, and if you hold that thermometer with the help of teeth only, is it going to measure the perfect body temperature? Your answer will be no. The method is wrong. The thermometer must be in proper contact with the body. Otherwise, due to the surrounding parameters, it will not be able to measure the correct body temperature. It will always measure the temperature lower than the correct body temperature, right? So this kind of error arises due to imperfect techniques, right? So such errors are known as imperfection in the experimental techniques. Error due to imperfection in the experimental techniques. So to remove such error, what we should do? Obviously, in order to remove this kind of error, the technique for performing that experiment must be known to us, right? We should know the proper method for a particular experiment which we are going to perform. You might have come across or you might have read somewhere that a company is giving some training. So before giving a job, company will provide some training for you, right? That training is necessary so that we can remove this kind of error. How to operate a particular type of instrument, right? So that training is necessary. Otherwise, directly you are using any instrument without doing the proper method, you will always introduce some error in the measurement or calculation, and that kind of error will be known as error due to imperfection in the experimental techniques, right? Now the third one is personal error. The third one is personal error. So the third one is personal error. Personal error is the error which is arising due to personal bias, individual bias. That is, it may change from person to person. This kind of error arises due to the improper setting of the apparatus for performing that experiment. Improper setting of the apparatus or the instrument to perform that experiment. Or you can say that this kind of error arises due to the carelessness of the individual. Let us say we want to measure the current flowing through the circuit. So while observing that reading, when you are looking at the current meter, that is A meter, there should not be any parallax introduced in it. Now parallax we have already seen, right? So while observing the reading, your eye should be exactly in front of that instrument, or the instrument must be exactly in front of your eye. If you have a tendency to lean your head towards the left hand side or the right hand side, then the reading measured by it will always have some kind of parallax. You will not be able to measure the true value, and this kind of error is arising due to the individual. So it is known as personal error or carelessness. Let us say in Ohm's law experiment, right? To perform Ohm's law experiment, we will have voltmeter somewhere else and current meter somewhere else. So while observing that reading of voltmeter and current meter, you should go and stand exactly in front of the current meter, that is A meter or voltmeter, to note the reading, right? To write the reading. But what generally students do, they will sit on the table, right? And they will, from the same location, they will see this side and that side for voltmeter and current meter, and they will write the reading. But obviously the answer will have some parallax in it. The exact method is you should go near that instrument, you should stand in front of that instrument, and then you should note the readings. Then only you will get correct answer. The second thing is about carelessness. Let us say while measuring something, or in physics also we will do some kind of personal error which we can neglect. Say for example, while calculating something, your answer is 6.9998, right? So what we are doing? You are writing that nearly equal to 7. But you must know that there is a difference between 7 and 6.9998. So that is an error which we are introducing in order to make our calculation easy. Right? Otherwise, suppose if you want to multiply 6.9998 with let us say 5.998, then it will be difficult for us. So what we are doing, 6.9998 and 5.9998 we are writing at 7 and 6. So we can easily multiply 7 and 6. But this kind of error which makes our calculation easy is also an error only, and it is known as personal error, which we are introducing due to our laziness, our carelessness, or due to the improper arrangement or setting, or you can say that improper arrangement of the apparatus, improper arrangement or setting of the instrument or apparatus while performing that experiment. So this kind of error will be known as personal error. How we can remove personal error? Basically, personal error can be easily removed. You must be more careful, right? You must be active while performing that experiment. The instrument should be properly arranged, right? So all this technique will help us to remove or reduce the personal error. So let us quickly revise whatever we have discussed today. Right, in today's video lecture, we have discussed about errors. What is an error? The difference between the true value and the measured value is known as error. The difference between the true value and the measured value is known as error. This error can be further classified into two groups. One is systematic error, while the another one is random error. In next lecture, we are going to discuss about random error. Right, so error can be classified into two groups, systematic error and random error. What is systematic error? The error which tends to move only in one direction, either positive or negative. The error which tends to move only in one direction, that is either positive or negative direction, is known as systematic error. Now, systematic error can be further classified into three groups, or you can say that the sources of systematic errors are three different types of sources, right? Or you can say that the type of systematic errors are. So this systematic error can be further divided into three groups, right? Or the sources of systematic error are, number one, let us say the first one which we have discussed is instrumental error, the error which arises due to imperfect calibration or design of the instrument. The error that arises due to improper design or calibration of measuring instrument. The error that arises due to improper design or calibration of the measuring instrument is known as instrumental error. Of course, if you have to give one example, so the first point will be this. The second, you have to give an example for that. We have already discussed 2 or 3 examples. Instrumental error, improper design or calibration. We have discussed. Let us say you can give example of weight machine. You can give example of thermometer or any other example, whatever you want to. Right? Will do. So if it is asked that write note on systematic error, then first we have to define what is error. Error is the difference between the true value and the measured value is known as error. Then you can say that systematic error is the error which which tends to move only in one direction, that is either positive or negative. That is, you have to give the definition of systematic error. After that, you can say that the sources of systematic errors are, and then you have to write all these three sources. Or you can say that systematic error can be further divided into three groups, right? And you have to explain all these three groups. So in that first one is instrumental error. You have to define instrumental error. What is instrumental error? The error that arises due to improper design or calibration of the measuring instrument. Right, is known as instrumental error. Then you have to give one example. Example will be anything you can give, right? Whatever you want to. Say for example, you can give example for weight machine or a thermometer or any other example will do. Then the third point is you have to explain the removal of that. The third point is removal by proper calibrating the measuring instrument, or by changing the instrument, or answer, to the final answer, we can remove instrumental error. How to add the correction we have discussed. Suppose if the reading is the error is minus 100 gram, then you have to add plus 100 gram, and so on. Now the second one is here imperfection. The second one is imperfection in the experimental technique. That is, we are not knowing the proper technique or the proper method to perform an experiment, and that experiment will always have some kind of error, or you will always introduce some error in it, and this kind of error is known as error due to imperfection in technique or procedure for performing that experiment. You can give an example of that thermometer, that if you want to measure the body temperature, then the thermometer must always be kept in proper contact with the human body. If that thermometer is not in proper contact with the body, then it will always gives us the temperature lower than the actual value, right? So that is an error, and that error is due to imperfection in that experimental technique. So first you will write the explanation, then you will give example for this, and the third one is how to remove that. So by knowing the proper technique, or to get trained for the experiment, right, to get a proper information for performing an experiment, will help us to reduce the imperfection, so error which arises due to imperfection in the experimental technique. Here, and the third one is personal error, the error which arises due to individual's bias or carelessness, or you can say that laziness, then such errors are known as personal error. You can give any example which we have discussed while taking the reading of voltmeter, current meter, or the parallax error which will be introduced. All these examples you can give. And how you can remove this error? So we can remove this error by becoming more careful, more active, right? And we can remove this kind of error. So these are the types of systematic error. Now in next video lecture we are going to discuss about random error and examples based on it. How we can remove random error and few examples related to it. Thank you.